Hi, Cancer. Welcome to your reading. If you're new, welcome in. If you're returning, welcome back. Either way, thank you so very much for being here. Thank you for sharing your energy with me. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to pull our traditional Celtic cross spread. Whatever message comes out is what you need to hear from Spirit. I have set that intention with this deck and with my guides. So let's get into the tarot and find your message, what you need to hear. I did bring out an oracle deck as well. We can pull from that at the end and get some additional messages. Well, let's see what the tarot has for you today. So the Hermit on the bottom. Be sure and like the video. Give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment if you feel called to do so. And definitely subscribe if the messages resonate. It helps my channel. And I really do appreciate that. But it also helps push my videos out for others so that they can get the messages as well. Okay. So the situation here is moving on. The Six of Swords is things moving to calmer waters, kind of accepting lessons, right? And moving on. Like this person is literally moving over to this island here. So you could physically be moving, but this is, just that transition in life, moving from a lesson and moving on from it into something new here. So the blockage is the Knight of Cups. This is, that love offer, but it's also about like emotions, right? The cups are our emotions. So I feel like this is, being open to receive something emotional here. This is like an apology as well. So I definitely feel like there has been this conflict with this Five of Swords. There's some kind of conflict, could be mental, but there is some sort of conflict going on in your life that you're moving on from or want to move on from. But what has you stuck here is that Knight of Cups, not following your heart, right? So the Knight of Cups is very much that Prince Charming, following your heart, and again with the emotions. So I feel like this is you needing to follow your heart in order to move on from something that's very conflicting for you. This could be conflict with others. This could be a mental conflict because the swords are our thoughts. So this could be just you are mentally conflicted and you're needing to move on and follow your heart here. So in the recent past, we have the Two of Pentacles. This is about balance, right? It is balancing finances, resources. It can be about balancing work life. But I also always see the water back here. That's like, the ups and downs, the ebb and flow, and being flexible, needing to be flexible with, finances or time, whatever this resource here is for you, these pentacles. But it is about balance. Those twos are all about balancing out. So you could have been balancing finances in order to move, or you could have just been trying to balance yourself in order to move on from whatever this conflict is for you. You could have also been in hermit mode. We did have the Hermit on the bottom, which is Virgo energy. You could be dealing with a Virgo. It doesn't have to be. But the Hermit is, going within, finding those answers, really learning the lessons. He has like that internal knowledge, right? Soul searching, looking for a purpose, maybe trying to understand how to move on or why you need to move on this transition, but definitely very pulled back and in solitude here. So in your your higher self, your subconscious here, we have the Death card. And the Death card is all about endings, new beginnings, again with transformation. So I feel like something is transforming here for you. And there was a situation that ended or needs to end. Your higher self could be telling you that this needs to end and you do need to move on. But that has you conflicted for whatever reason. If you're moving on from a job, maybe you're conflicted about whether or not this is going to work out and needing to balance your finances. If you're moving on from a relationship, it could have you conflicted. How will you balance things out here? So in the near future, we do have the Tower card, and this is sudden, fast change. But it doesn't have to be a negative change, right? Especially if you're moving on and transitioning, this can be a very positive change. It does happen very quickly, but with every Tower moment, there comes a new beginning, right? You do have the Death, which is an ending, and the Tower, which is things breaking down and being able to build from a solid foundation. And the tower moment can actually happen when we're not following our heart and not moving on from situations. So that could be what is bringing in that tower moment, but it just means sudden, fast change. And as long as you know that it's coming, you can work with that energy to your benefit, right? But it is very sudden, it is very quick. So, in your feelings here, we have the Six of Cups. This is about nostalgia, it's about memories. It can be about healing too, but maybe thinking about the past. You know, you could be thinking about like your childhood. There are children here. Maybe inner child wounds is what's keeping you at a place and not moving on. But this can also be about, you know, thinking about your family home. Maybe you're moving back to your, you know, where you grew up as a child, something of that nature. But this definitely has to do with you feeling nostalgic, you know, having those memories from the past. And this is also about healing. So you could definitely be going through some type of healing here. In your environment, we have the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands is a burden, right? Lots of burden, kind of like near burnout, just feeling very tired. And I feel like maybe that's why you've been pulled back, you know. It's kind of like that feeling of being defeated. You're just carrying all these lessons, but you're also carrying these burdens that just don't serve you. And that's probably why you need to move on. That Six of Swords energy is you need to leave these burdens behind and kind of move forward. Your hopes and fears, we have the Strength card here. This is, you know, that inner strength, that inner courage, that self-confidence, really kind of just going within, again with that Hermit card, knowing that you have the strength to do this, right? You have the strength in order to move on and to follow your heart and to transition in life. You know, you could be ending something very significant here. You could be ending a relationship, ending a job that has had a lot to do with building who you are. And that's always hard to leave behind, right? So, but the overall outcome is the Sun. Like, this is happiness, joy, vitality. The Sun is my favorite card in the whole deck, right? This one is very beautiful too. But, um, you know, the Sun is all about growth, abundance. It is all good things, right? It is happy memories. It is growth, vitality, whether that's in relationships or in your life in general. But that is very happy and abundant times. You know, that is on the horizon here. I feel like you just need to go through this transformation and this tower moment here. So, what does Cancer not see coming, Spirit? So we have Justice, Ten of Swords, and the Four of Wands. Yeah, so this is, you know, about justice after some kind of painful ending. There is stability. There is this joy, this celebration, this union. You know, this could be about love. It could be just finding stability. Again, with a home, maybe this has something to do with a childhood home or somewhere that you, again, grew up. You know, maybe this is an actual like ending here, which causes a tower moment. And it has you thinking about your childhood home. But this, what you don't see coming is this justice, right? Like this good karma balancing. Again, with that Two of Pentacles, the Justice card is all about balance. So there is balance and justice coming in here. Good karma after some kind of painful ending, that Ten of Swords. And it does lead to joy and happiness. Again, you know, we have the ending here leading to joy and happiness, the Sun card. So there is some kind of justice coming in here. And it's going to lead to, you know, it could lead to you getting a home. Maybe you're inheriting a home from your childhood. What's the advice for Cancer? So we have the Five of Pentacles, the Two of Swords, and the Knight of Swords. This is about, again, with the healing. The Five of Pentacles is very like grief, loss. It could be about belief systems or a mindset, like feeling left out by the universe, feeling left out by an actual person or multiple people. But this is like that feeling of lack, that belief system that you are in lack. So I feel like there's a decision that needs to be made. You know, you've kind of felt left out in the cold. You need to heal from that and really look at things and take off this blindfold, right? She has this blindfold. and making a decision to take some sort of action here to move forward and cut things out, right? That Knight of Swords is very assertive, very bold, excuse me. He just takes action, right? This is a very fast moving and action oriented card. So I feel like there is some kind of belief system that needs to go, right? Like you need to cut out certain beliefs or certain patterns, maybe that have to do with being left out or feeling left out, some kind of limiting belief here. And then making a decision to take some sort of action and cut things out, maybe cutting out that belief system in order to move forward, right? You did have that Five of Swords, that conflict, that mental conflict. And then you have the Five of Pentacles here, you know, this negative mindset, this negative conflict, this mental conflict. Making a choice to cut that out, see things for what they are, and cut those things out in order to move forward into this happiness. What else do you have for Cancer spirits? They're flipping over, but they're not actually coming out. It's so funny. They don't normally do that. So we have acceptance. You may be disappointed with a recent outcome. Remember, if one door closes, you're being redirected to one that will soon open to your true soul path. Yeah, like that inner soul searching, right? That Hermit card, that inner self searching after some conflict, needing to move on from something, accepting this lesson and moving on from it, and moving towards following your heart, right? What makes your cup overflow here. We have patience. You're being asked to practice patience right now. It's not easy to do this, but you're strong, and there's a reason why things aren't aligning in the way you want them to in this moment. Have patience. It will eventually work out. Yeah, that strength card there, that inner strength. Like you have the strength to overcome whatever obstacles may come your way. Reassess. You're being asked to take stock of your life and let go of anything or anyone that no longer makes you happy. Notice who and what brings you joy and who and what doesn't. It's time for some life cleanup. Definitely moving on and accepting some lessons here. So, you have a lot of happiness coming in here. I just feel like we are transitioning, transforming, maybe a thought pattern, maybe certain belief systems, but ultimately it is going to lead to a very happy outcome here. You know, you've got that Four of Wands and that Sun card. So lots of joy, lots of abundance, and lots of good vitality, good energy coming in here. So I really love this for you, Cancer. I hope that this message helped, and I will see you next time.